Okay, so here we go, guys. We are starting the Twitch stream, of course, for Afghanistan 11. Yet another one. Now, we had to actually start a new game. I know a lot of people wanted to continue from our last skirmish, but there have been a few updates which made that game null and void. And so we are starting brand new here. I think the interesting thing about this particular skirmish is the president of Afghanistan in this particular one is very anti-American, Mahdi Mansour. We can see he's telling us it's time America went home. He's not happy with America's presence here, and he's going to make sure we know about it. So I'm thinking that we want to get that forward operating base up here in the north near Khost, Obe, Tulak, all of these areas. But really this entire province is very, very rough overall to get through. To get to places like Koji, Kanashin, I'm thinking we're probably going to need to get maybe even a Chinook to build some of these things. So first things first is, of course, building some units. We're going to go ahead and get a Buffalo, just like the basics here. A Husky, of course. Did we get that? Wow, that was fast. We'll get a U.S. Special Forces unit. We'll get U.S. Infantry. We'll get an MRAP. And I'm actually thinking I want to go ahead and possibly get some Chinooks. So I'm going to get one Chinook here for $2,000. I mean, that's definitely expensive, but I think it's worth it. And let's get some more U.S. Infantry and some more MRAPs. We'll get a few supply trucks here to help the people out. And we're going to get started. So first things first, I want to take my Husky and head to the north, see if we spot any bombs. Remember, this president is very anti-American, so there's a good chance there's going to be bombs around the place, or at least eventually there are going to be some bombs here. We just want to get started and do our absolute best. You can see there's some villages over here, pretty easy to get to, but there's also an area over here to the far left across this river that's hard to get to. And over here, if we go to the east, there's some villages here that are going to be hard to get to. The benefit is that just about everything is covered by road from what I can see, but I definitely want to build a road going up here to this dirt path. So let's go ahead, first of all, and grab the Buffalo. We want to start getting those water towers up and going. And where is that Buffalo? There he is, Alpha Squad. And I want to build a water tower near this village, but we might need to wait a turn before we actually do it. If we have to wait a turn, no big deal. We can do it. And let's go ahead and get some guys and some MRAPs and start moving out. Don't forget, we also have the Chinook, but I'm going to use that Chinook to actually build a base. Wait, I don't want to pick him up with a damn supply truck. That's not going to be helpful to anybody. All right, so here we go, picking up the U.S. Infantry Company, and I'm going to drop him off as close as I can to this village. As far as we can tell, no bombs, no IEDs, so our infantry should be able to roll in here. Take a look. We just increased some hearts and minds. Pretty cool. Probably not a bad idea to get some UN supplies over here too. And hello, welcome everybody. It's good to see everybody here. Preacher, Ulrich, all these guys, even from Sweden, Romania, the UK, and of course Texas. I like how the Texans, and I've been to Austin and Dallas many times, they don't say I'm from the U.S., they say I'm from Texas. I respect that. I think that's pretty cool. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and begin training an Anna howitzer. We want to get that thing ready to move, but I also want to immediately build an FOB in this area if we can. And I'm trying to think of where the best place to put that FOB is. This area is pretty wild over here, but I'm thinking that we want to put it like maybe here. So let's build that FOB right here. And of course, since we're using a Chinook, it's a little more expensive, but I think it's worth it. Time will tell if this was actually worth it or not. But at least we're getting close, and those mountains look pretty terrifying. They could definitely have some Taliban in them, but we're going to take that risk and keep on moving. Oscar Mike, of course, means on the move for you military newbies. We're going to grab the MRAP here, and I'm going to pick up Bravo Company, and I want to head south, but I'd feel a lot safer with another Husky. So we're going to get one more Husky for $750. It is expensive, but I think it's a worthwhile purchase. Let's go ahead and make sure there are no IEDs. And eventually I probably want to take that Buffalo and build a road to connect these two roads. It would make movement a lot harder instead of having to go around these mountains. That just seems like way too much work for me. So let's go ahead, pick up some units here, pick up Bravo Company, move out with Echo Squad, and get into this village right here. All right, guys, so like I said, we're starting off with a really interesting mission because the president of this particular mission, Mahdi Mansour, is extremely anti-American. He's not a friend of the U.S. at all, and that's going to make our jobs a lot harder. So I'm going to take a supply truck and try to deliver supplies to this village. If not this turn, then next turn, of course. Let's Let's go ahead and start moving there. We want to really try to make sure that the hearts and minds in this particular mission stays on the upwards path. Oh yeah, we got people drinking tea. Australia. Well, hello from Australia. It's good to see you there. U.S. retired Navy, so it's coffee here, and thank you for your service, man. Coffee's popular in the U.S. as preacher. It certainly is. At least I think it was. When I was in the U.S., coffee was very popular. In fact, I'd rarely see anybody drinking tea unless it was a sweet tea. That's a whole different story. Let's take a look over here. So I definitely want to drop off some more troops. We probably want to grab another U.S. infantry division. And if I could, I'd also get a Black Hawk, but we're going to start spending a lot of money if we do that. Well, you know what? Got to spend money somewhere, am I right? So we're going to pick up the Black Hawk, and let's get this guy to pick this infantry up. And we're going to immediately head for those areas that are pretty much out of our zone of control, unless we get the Buffalo to build a lot of stuff here. Come on, son. All right, villages uncooperative, although they're glad to see us at the same time. Pro-Anna villagers for the most part, so they do want a free Afghanistan, and we want to try to bring it to them, but this can be somewhat difficult at times, as you guys already know from playing this game. So let's go ahead and just swing through. So we're already at 51. That's pretty great. I want to see if we can get this infantry out of the village. This is just going to make it a little easier for our Buffalo to build the water tower next turn and to get them back in the MRAP and probably head to this village to the north. So let's go ahead and make sure we moved everybody. We could still actually move these guys. Let's pick them up. We've got no movement points remaining, though, so all they could do is get back on the road, which I don't mind doing. In fact, we're going to search for some IEDs. I don't think there's going to be anything, of course, not this early on in the game. But here we go. And also, guys, don't forget, we are, of course, giving out keys this stream. So some of you lucky people watching are going to have a chance to win some Afghanistan 11 keys. All I ask is if you've already won a key in the past, please don't take a second. Give it to somebody who actually needs it. Or if you already own the game, maybe if you're at least going to take a key and you own the game, give it to a friend. Try to spread the game around as best you can. I think that's really the only thing we ask here. So we're going to keep moving here. We're going to try to pick up our boys over here near this village and start moving them forward again. So far, there doesn't seem to be much activity from the enemy, but that's going to change. I'm almost certain of that. Let's go ahead and drop our boys into this village here. And we want to build a water tower at this area as well. Let's go ahead, and there we go. So we know that there's an IED down here. I'm going to be sending this Husky to go destroy it. Maybe get a few more political points. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look here. We want to deliver those UN supplies, but before we do, I want to pick our boys up. And unfortunately, these guys that have the task of going all the way to these villages way over here to see what's going on, and in an MRAP that's going to take a while, which is why I want to build a highway between these two areas, between this desert essentially. Oh, Darthan Gamer says you want to convince your friends it's not just a simple game. Yes, no, it is not a simple game at all, especially if they played Vietnam 65, which in itself wasn't a simple game. This is much more complicated, and it's definitely worth their time. I'm going to go ahead. We delivered our UN aid. I mean, this is definitely one of the games I've struggled with the most. I've definitely learned a lot since I last started playing, and it's one of those games you absolutely have to go through the tutorial or you will be lost. And that's not meant to intimidate people. That's actually meant just to show you the depth that this game has, which I think is quite amazing. So let's go ahead and send this guy over here. See if we can't find any more IEDs near our other FOB up here. And I love the fact that we've got one FOB. I want to actually get a Navy SEAL unit and go over here so we can start training some ANA infantry. That's kind of my goal. So let's actually send this guy, this Chinook, back to base. And I'm going to get yet another Special Forces unit just in an effort to train the ANA infantry. And that's right, you can only train ANA infantry at forward operating bases, not at your main base. Here you can train essentially the aircraft, the artillery, and of course the ANA sort of APC, if you want to call it that. Let's go ahead and get these Special Forces. And we're going to move them out of here with the Chinook pretty soon. But right now, we're going to just hold steady. And actually, I might even bring some UN supplies. I shouldn't have taken it with this unit. No. Well, we already have aid on that truck, so that's all right. We'll move them out next time. But I want to deliver the UN supplies to this village, make sure that they know that we care about them, And there we go. Have some food on me. Why not? Let's keep moving. Let's try to get some more people in this stream, guys. Drop this on Twitter, all your social media. We're at 50. And our first lucky winner of the day. Very cool. So we do have a winner already. I'm glad to hear that. And let's take a look here. I want to pick up. Nope, we can't pick our boys up yet. We could certainly search for IEDs, though, even though I don't expect there to be any IEDs this early on. I think it's going to take a while for that to occur. But let's go ahead and continue and end our turn. All right, there we go, guys. And look at that Hearts and Minds. That's going up pretty quickly to 53. The first thing I want to do is build a water tower over here. Remember, that's how we get a lot of our political points, is building water towers. Let's go ahead and pick our boys up here. And as long as everything is going well, then I will bring them over here to take a look at these villages. This area is very dangerous, as you can imagine, but that's why we've got that forward operating base there, so that we can train some men. So let's go ahead and get into a new village here. See if they don't have any intel for us. Better have something. Come on now. Aha! We spotted our first militia infantry here. Now, if I were in a position to be able to hit them with the artillery, I would, but I think we're pretty far out, and that's right, we haven't trained the artillery yet. So we're going to try to hit them, guys, with an airstrike, an F-16 airstrike. Let's see if we get lucky here. 77% chance. Oh, they got away. That is frustrating, to say the least. Well, it happens to the best of us. So let's grab the Husky, keep on moving through here. Now I'm scared because I know that there are Taliban in the area here. But we can't let fear get to us. We've got to keep on moving forward. We've got a little convoy here trying to get to this village as quickly as possible. Looks like the water tower at the northern village is doing fine. We got the water tower over here doing pretty well as well. And I want to build a road connecting this village to the main highway. There we go. That's going to make the villagers happy, and it's going to make our movement a lot easier through this terrain. Let's go ahead and pick up. No, we're going to have to wait to pick up our boys. That's right. We wanted to get the special forces to start training actual infantry units, which I think are very helpful. They're trusted more by the people, of course, and in general, it's probably a necessity, really, in a game like this. This is going to mean, though, that the special forces temporarily are not going to be able to go into the mountains and hunt for enemy, but we don't really know where the enemy's attacking from yet anyway. We did attack the enemy in this mountain range over here just now, but who knows? I mean, they could be moving around. It could have just been a fluke. And remember, the militia don't necessarily mean that the enemy is going to be from that location. You really want to look for the Taliban units to make sure you're in the right area. All right, we're going to go ahead and do a little mine sweeping. Nope, no IEDs that I can spot, at least. We do have an IED over there on the far left. But we've got to keep making that income. We've got to keep bringing in the dollars. Or in this case, keep bringing in the political points, let's say. All right, let's take a look here at the chat. What happened to the Sea Monkeys? Not sure. There is artillery now. Oh, there was always artillery in the game. Oh, yes. There are different types of... No, well, there's not different types of special forces units yet. I'm not sure if that's going to be added later. Very, very well could be. We're going to have to see. And actually, no, Taliban's not the only enemy. So we've got like local militia, and we've got the Taliban. You know, obviously, when the U.S. Went to Afghanistan, they weren't just facing Taliban units. You know, they were also facing local militia units that may or may not have any affiliation with the Taliban. They might just be anti-American. They might just be pro-independence movement sort of thing. So not always. Not always. Okay, I'm going to get this Chinook back to base. Actually, we can probably camp him out here, but no, he's got to get back to base, pick up more troops, and head back out into the field. That's right, we have the Black Hawk here, and we were going to drop this guy off, or drop some troops off over here in this province. This is probably the most dangerous province on this map, so hopefully we can get some useful information, like some opium fields. Oh, damn, look at that. Militia infantry in the eastern mountains. Of course, we are way out of range. We can't do a damn thing about them. But at least we got some intel in this village. Let's see if we can find some IEDs. Not a single one so far. Let's pick our boys up. I really want the elections to happen because the president we're dealing with right now is not a good one in this province whatsoever. He just hates us. All right, here we go. Badass Chopper says, Lazarai, are devs planning to add multiplayer to the game somewhere? I really can't tell you and don't know. we have to wait. There are a lot of planned features for the game for sure. That's without a doubt that's going to occur. What those planned features are right now, I'm really not certain. We have to wait and see, guys. So I'm going to drop some more UN aid off at this village. I really want to get one of these villages to be totally pro-American. There we go. I'm surprised they don't already love us. Come on, guys. We've done so much for you. Now I could also bring... Take a look here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be building a water tower at that village, but it's going to take a while to get over there. And let's end our turn. Enemy forces mobilizing here. I don't see them, but it looks like that militia unit is probably still in that location. No, they've actually moved. A little surprising, actually. I thought, looking at the map, they would certainly be there. Let's move the Husky through here. I don't want them to get right up on the village, but maybe they can get close by here. And these villages are pretty dangerous. It's a very narrow pass, as you can see. So I'm going to try to drop our troops off over here. And our hearts and minds are going up steadily. So we're getting up to 54. That's pretty great. If we could get to 60, obviously, that would be phenomenal. And there we go. We've got, that is Taliban. That is definitely a Taliban unit. As far as I can see, there's nothing we can do about them right now unless we want to go ahead and splurge on a new chopper, and we just can't afford that right now, unfortunately. What we can do is start sending our Buffalo over to this village to eventually build a nice waterworks for the people here. We'll also take a look at the other two villages to make sure that there are no damaged waterworks or anything like that. That is definitely a hearts and minds killer. Nice. Destroy that IED. Let's head back out. I hate being in these narrow mountain passes. This area is frightening. Call aviation. Do I get more intel with villages if you have high in H&M? I believe you do, absolutely. Yes, especially if the village turns pro-American, you will get more valuable intel. Absolutely. People are asking me to call an A-10. We can't call an A-10 right now because all of our special forces are training Afghan National Army units. And remember, guys, once we get to about turn 30, depending on how many turns you're playing in your skirmish, and this one we're doing a 40-turn skirmish, on turn 30, you have to turn everything over to the Afghan National Army. So all your boys go home, and you basically are in a position of having to kind of restart. It's a little scary, but it's all part of the process of course, turning Afghanistan over to a provisional government that can actually rule the country. So let's take a look at those water towers. That one is looking fine. That one is also looking fine. Maybe we're going to get lucky here and not have any more issues with water towers. At least I hope so. Okay, so we could send these guys through. I do want to, but I'm definitely scared of possible IEDs in this sector. All right, let's get this Chinook back home. And my father was in Vietnam, and he told me the sound of the Chinook basically ruined his hearing in his left ear. Back then, you wouldn't really use sound protection, or ear protection, I should say, when you were riding in a Chinook. Bad idea. Definitely a bad idea. It's a very, very loud chopper, for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look over here. Yeah, I think we've done everything we can. We can go ahead and search for mines, but I don't think there's anything here. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Oh, and I see some enemies moving up here to the north. So we definitely have more enemy units. We're at 54, though, when we're still gaining political points. That's a good sign, as always. I will drop off another water tower here. So we've got 4 water towers altogether. This should be bringing in the political points like mad, but you guys know how this can work. Things can get very complicated. I am going to drop off the troops here, but we're going to need to send some gasoline desperately. So there's an IED there, we know now. We need to send some gasoline to these units, and obviously trying to get gas up here can be very dangerous, which is why I usually rely on the airdrops, but that of course costs us quite a bit more. It's quite a bit more expensive than just trying to get fuel trucks. Right now though, I just don't feel safe sending fuel trucks out into this area. I am going to of course send one of our companies here with the Black Hawk to that village. That village has been very supportive of us so far, and we don't want to mess up this relationship. So let's head over there. Oh yeah, baby. We've got some enemies right there, and I think they might be in artillery range. Oh, that's right. We still don't have the artillery. At this point, we could take a really big risk, and we could either try to attack with our infantry, with our MRAP, or we could try to purchase an Apache. 50%. I just don't trust those odds. What I will do is I'm going to set my boys out here. We could try to take them on. 58%, guys. We're going to take the risk with Bravo Company. Enemy destroyed. Beautiful. And we also found another unit there, which is going to be very, very helpful. I'm going to go ahead and pick our guys up, and that probably gives them a rank up. And as you can see there, they've got the corporal rank now, so that's going to be ultra helpful. Don't forget, guys, we're giving keys away here, so if you've got any friends that don't have the game, make sure to bring them into the stream. We want to get as many people here as possible. And let's take a look here. Convoy mood in the new beta update. Wait for a sale and buy if you really want it, says Linkomix. Rowdy Metal says, I need a key so I can go to the pub with the notion that I achieved something today. I like that. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, you do get hearts and minds for killing Taliban, absolutely. But actually, we didn't kill that Taliban unit. We caused them to scatter. We did win the battle. That's why we got the political points for it, but we didn't completely destroy the unit. Basically, if you're able to damage a unit and make it run away, whatever mission it had in mind, in this case, the mission was probably to intimidate that village, that mission is ended. Now, if we really wanted to kill them, we could follow through and try to hit them with more units. And I'm actually going to take a look at the price of an Apache here. I'm taking it. It's $1,000, but I think it's worth it. So let's get the Apache and see if we can chase that other Taliban unit. Juliet Squadron and the Apache, come on. Make us happy today. Oh, I think we moved a little too far. We're not going to be able to hit the unit. At least we have an Apache on scene, though. And we definitely need to bring in some fuel for some of these units, or else they're not going to be moving anywhere. So I'm not sure if we should give it to the infantry unit or we should give it to maybe the Husky. I think the Husky probably needs it more than anybody because he's going to look for IEDs. So we're going to bring in the emergency supplies with the C-130. All right, the Chinook. And I wasn't saying Chinook. Good God. It's Chinook. I'm fairly sure it's Chinook. At least that's what my father would always call it. And being a first lieutenant, I think he would know, but we've all got different pronunciations. Some people say tomato, others say tomato. Some people say radiator instead of radiator, which I've never understood. But to each his own, right? So let's go ahead and move up here, find some IEDs. Nope, nothing. Not a damn thing. And this guy is going to be stranded in the desert until we can get him some supplies. So we do need to focus on that. So we could pick up supplies with the Chinook here and deliver fuel to the unit. I think I'm definitely going to do that. Hopefully our Afghan National Army artillery is going to be ready very, very soon. Then we can start hitting any units in this area. So there we go, delivering some beautiful fuel. And we're going to head back this way. Don't forget, we got that forward operating base up there to the north. So some of our guys could be able to maybe just get back into the FOB. In fact, I should have done that. Definitely a little mistake on my part, to say the least. All right, let's bring in some more UN supplies. And as you can see, this village is pro-American. We just want to make sure they're completely pro-American. Just give them anything they want. We want them singing the praises of the U.S. the entire time. Oh, there we go. Congratulations. Congrats, Darth and Gamer. I sure hope so. Veterans seem to really like this game, which I think is really awesome. It's great to see you guys here. Thank you for your service. And I hope, from what we've heard from a lot of veterans, this game represents the war pretty well, just the madness involved. Look at this massive ANA desertion. Some ANA units have been disbanded. That's okay, because as far as I know, we didn't train any ANA units yet. We were trying to. And yeah, we're still training the ANA howitzer. I think we're still training the ANA infantry over here at our FOB, so we've got nothing to worry about. It's not really going to affect us. But we will bring this Buffalo back here into the forward operating base. I can't wait to get that ANA unit out, because then we can actually start moving him around, and he can be useful. So here we go. Unfortunately, this guy's going to run out of fuel before we can get him any direct help. Oh, we found an opium crop. Yes, please. We're going to go ahead and destroy this thing. I've never found an opium crop just by accident in this game, so that's a first. Oh, yeah. I like that. All right, these guys may get the care package here, but we'll take a look first, because We can probably bring some more fuel here to the Husky. And of course, we'd be using the Chinook to do that. Smoke it. Nonsense. No worries, Vic. Yeah, I would imagine the back blast from that smoke would be pretty dangerous. I would not want to be anywhere close to that. Let's go ahead and pick up some more fuel with the Chinook and bring it to that Husky. That Husky is in desperate need of fuel. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, look, we may be able to deliver fuel this turn. That's one thing I love about this thing. It's definitely able to cover a lot of ground. Let's drop some fuel off. There you go, sir. Enjoy your fuel, and let's get the hell out of here. These mountains are notorious for having Taliban in them. I'm not trying to pick a fight with any of these guys. We've still got our Apache kind of just hanging out here. Let's drop our Black Hawk in the base. So we do have Echo Company, and I think we're going to pick up Echo Company here. We're going to head out and go to this village right here. We'll drop them off in this village. Of course, we can't forget about those villages to the southwest. We can't ignore them completely. Of course, we could still win the game without getting their support, but I'm trying to keep everybody happy, which in this particular area is pretty damn hard. Now, look at that. We found a Taliban unit. I definitely want to bring in some fire to see if we can kill it. I'm going to try to use the Apache here. And those are Taliban, which means that the Apache, even if we hit them with the Apache, we're not going to be able to get a full kill. But we're going to fire anyway. And at least dissuade them from their mission. So if they were going to intimidate the people here, they're definitely not going to attempt that this time. There we go. Now, as for the care package, we are going to deliver it to these men in the north. And they need it, believe me. Let's go ahead and do that. There you go, boys. Let's get this Husky to move through these villages, see if we can find anything. So far, no busted wells, which really is surprising me, or I should say water towers. I want to build one over here to the south, but it's going to be a little bit expensive. Let's see how you guys are doing. Nice strike animation. Thank you, man. Here we go, 58. Pretty good. Like to see this many people here. I think our best on this stream was something like 96. I would love to see 96 people here again. That would make me very, very happy. But I'm glad you guys are still excited about this game. It really makes me feel good. And I think you should be. I mean, it's a fun game, no matter how you look at it. Let's go ahead and move forward here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a tiny little favor for these guys. Search for IEDs, and of course, we'll get them the hell out of here. So we'll go ahead and pick up our men. And let's leave. Hopefully we don't see any IEDs on the way out. Okay, we can get the supply truck back. I'm surprised they're not putting any IEDs near our base. But considering we're building artillery here, maybe they're just frightened. Let's move through. Yeah, that's going to be it. End turn. So far, I don't see any enemy units. But unfortunately, our poor Apache is going to have to head back to base. I won't send him back yet, because we could still get some intel from some of these villages, like this one right here. So let's go ahead and drop the men off. Look at that. We've got a militia unit. Let's bring in the Apache. That's why it's good to have an FOB. Now let's hope that this Apache gets a shot this time. Come on, correct your aim. Oh, we did not get them, guys. They disbanded. Now, once again, that means they're not going to go to that village and try to intimidate people, which is definitely a bonus, but we could still do better than that. So I'd love to actually send this Black Hawk directly to these villages over here to the west, but I think first we need to get some fuel, and then, of course, we can head out and have as much fun as we want hunting Taliban. Oh, I'm not going to comment on that. All right, let's take a look here. God, what's going on with all the drug chat in the stream? Oh, this is great. This is great. We've truly turned into just a mess. I love it. I think it's hilarious. So here we go. Let's go ahead and grab this. But yeah, guys, let's try to focus on the conflict at hand. We've got Taliban to kill. I think we could send the Chinook back home. Go home, Chinook. And start, of course, taking a look at these southern villages as well. Now, I know that there's an IED down there, which is why I'm very afraid to send any of our infantry down there, because I'm assuming that the Taliban have already set more IEDs around the north of this village, which could definitely be the case. We might want to just reach that place, basically by helicopter until we can totally clear the area. Holy crap, Taliban units attacking our Husky. The Husky survived the attack, didn't even get damaged, so we got very, very lucky there. We're probably not going to get that lucky again. And one thing we could do is we could probably spot that Taliban unit. We know where they ran off to, so I'm bringing in a drone. Oh yeah, we see them. We're not going to let them intimidate these villagers, so let's bring in an F-16 strike. Come on, boys. Oh, they ran away again! You bastards. Alright, nothing we can do about that. Let's take a look over here, pick up our boys at this village. And we're going to start heading over here to this village. Of course, we're getting dangerously close to Taliban units. But let's take a look over here, and we're almost done training the ANA infantry, which, like I said, eventually in the game, it's very important to train ANA units because you're going to need to use them, towards the end of the game to protect your bases. Eventually, your guys are going to disappear from the map and go back home. They're probably pretty sick of being in country. All right, here we go. Got another Husky. Keep taking a look, make sure there's nothing in this area. I gotta say, the Taliban in this particular scenario are not very good at planning IEDs. They've got to learn some guerrilla warfare. We all know that there are those less than honest people working in the storage supply units as incompetent. Absolutely true. All right, let's take a look here. All right, I think that's about it. Oh, wait a minute. Now we're still training the howitzer. Let's continue, end the turn. And we're doing very good right now with hearts and minds, guys. I don't know if you guys are noticing, we're at 55 with hearts and minds. That's pretty damn high. And our ANA units are deployed. We can finally start using these guys. But look at that. We still see those Taliban, and they are injured. They are injured. That's the good news. The bad news is I'm hoping we can get this Apache back to that base. We're going to have to move forward one tile to be able to fire. 67% chance. Come on, Apache. Damn! They got away again. Now remember, to kill a Taliban unit, you need to get 2 damage twice. And oh my gosh, I messed up. I didn't realize this, but I guess once the Apache fires, it can no longer move. That Apache is going to crash. Now, the good news is that despite it crashing, we could still save it. It's going to crash in the desert without any fuel. We're going to have to bring the Buffalo, though, to save this thing. And I could actually bring in my infantry to try and take that Taliban unit on. I think I'm going to do it, guys. I know it's risky as hell. Oh boy, Taliban unit attacking us up here in the north. Holy crap. All right, now I'm a little less certain about attacking. Well, we've started it. Let's finish it. 54%. Come on, boys. Kill, a wound anyway. So we got 750 political points just for wounding there. That's very helpful, but we are going to have to grab that Buffalo. I think he's had enough time to rest. And number one, we need to fix that water tower. We can't have damaged water towers around here. That's just unacceptable. So let's go ahead and fix that water tower and, of course, bring the Buffalo back towards our what's going to be a wounded Apache. I almost want to bring in another Apache, and I think we should. Let's see if the ANA howitzer can spot these guys. No, way out of range. But I think we should bring in an Apache at this point, just to kill those wounded units. So I am going to spend the money. It's very expensive at this point, but I think it's worth it. Come on, Apache. We want some dead Taliban here. Beautiful, guys. We got one. If we can get the second one, I'm going to be extremely happy. And our men did very, very well in that firefight. Let's pick them up. I'm just going to stay on this road for now. I don't want to get too close there to the enemy. Let's move the Husky down here and get rid of that IED. And there's probably going to be more down here. If there's one, there's usually more. There we go. Gain some support with the locals. Let's grab the Blackhawk. And we'll actually pick up... I want to get the Special Forces units. So I'm going to pick up the Special Forces units. We'll get the infantry after. Okay, we just picked up the infantry. Fair enough, fair enough. We can get the Special Forces units with the Chinook. Drop them off here. And it looks like we've got some more Taliban in the mountains. This particular skirmish mode is full of Taliban. And I think it's because of the president that is currently in control of Afghanistan here. Although look at that. It's really cool because the people are definitely pro-US. But we got to grab a Chinook and pick up some special forces here. Pick up Alpha Company. If we can get over to where those Taliban are, and I think we can, hopefully we don't get hit by rocket fire. We could get hit by an RPG, but hopefully we can call it a Warthog here. Come on, boys. There we go. Alpha Company can call in the Warthog strike. 62% chance. Come on. Oh yeah, dead Taliban. Amazing job there by the Special Forces. And at this point, we're just going to keep watch. Unfortunately, the Special Forces are not adept at going to villages and getting any information from the locals. As you can imagine, bearded men with guns can put the fear into any Afghan, and that's just the truth. 60, and oh, somebody else won. Very, very cool. Congrats, man. Seems Santa's on holiday, says Self-Searcher. Let's take a look over here. Okay, so we've got our Special Forces unit here as well. Now, I could send them out to to also assist in hunting Taliban, and I think I'm probably going to do that. So we're going to send these guys to the top of this hill. We want to bring in, as soon as possible, a chopper to pick up this ANA infantry unit. Although right now, he can kind of just go out on his own and try to get to some of these villages. Let's move out the ANA infantry so you guys at least get a look at what the ANA infantry looks like. I love to look at them. I think the look of them, and to look at them too. They just look really cool to me. So let's take a look here. 3364. That's not bad at all. We can move our boys through here. Probably not a bad idea. Once again, I wish we could we might just move across the desert here to get to our location faster, but it looks like this village is once again in need of our services. And a wonderful strike there with the Warthog to take out those Taliban, and look at that, some more Taliban units. They're all over the place here. And usually we deal with a lot of militia. In this particular scenario, we've seen 5 Taliban units. Killed 2 of them, of course, but you don't usually see this many Taliban unless you're in a very dangerous part of the country. So this area is extremely dangerous, and it's good to see that. Look at that Hearts and Minds score, 57. That's pretty damn good, guys. Let's go ahead and move these guys southwards. Get out of this region, and we will end the turn. Oh, we've got 2 Huskies over here? See, that's bad planning on my part. Should only have 1 Husky in this area. We should have the other Husky saved and reserved for the northern part of the country. And we'll move our Special Forces a little bit more. Why not? All right, let's end the turn. Okay, national elections, guys. And look at this. Once again, I've never had elections this bad. We are in a terrible part of the country. So Mahdi Mansour was the guy that just was president, and he was terrible. As you can see, it's time America went home. This guy, Rashid Badur, is even worse. And this guy, Hassan Hamoud, I mean, they're all terrible. And usually you get at least one good candidate. None of these guys are pro-American. They're all pro-Taliban. Considering the region we're in and the amount of Taliban we've spotted, I'm not really surprised. But I think this guy is going to give us more PP on enemy kills. And I think that's probably the guy we want to go for. So we're going to vote for Hassan Mahmoud. I wish we could just not do anything. Tender rigging. U.S. Minister of Defense confirmed that investigations into alleged military vehicle manufacturing tender bid rigging was still underway, and that firms in the industry have been invited to disclose projects and tenders affected by bid rigging conduct in return for lower penalties. The minister would not offer comment on how many companies have already taken up the offer. So our supply trucks are going to be a little less expensive. That's definitely a bonus. Okay, we got to get this Chinook back to base. Come on, boy. And unfortunately, we do have a damaged water tower over here. I don't like that. We've also got a damaged vehicle, and yes, unfortunately, our Apache's on the ground. Incredibly, he can fire from the ground. I love this. However, now he's in the sky. I may have just damned that Apache to an early death. If I did, I apologize. But we need to get our Buffalo out here as soon as possible. And we're going to send our troops out once again to try and attack this unit. 67% chance. Come on, boys. Oh, we had lost one guy. That's not good. The enemy got away here. Of course, we still got another Apache. We're going to try to get revenge for our wounded troops. But I think I just damned our first Apache to a certain death. Oh, they're still getting away, man. Unbelievable. All right, we got to bring in another U.S. infantry squad. And yeah, we've got 2 water towers badly damaged. I don't like that at all. That's going to drop our political points significantly. See if we can spot anything. I want to find some poppy fields. That's my goal right now. Okay, these special forces might be able to get close enough sooner rather than later to detecting some activity over here. Let's get this Buffalo to start moving south and fix these water towers. First of all, I want to make sure none of the ones over here are damaged. No, they look fine. It's just that one down here to the south. Please don't let the Taliban attack us. Pick up the boys and get back to base. We've got to get these guys back to a medical station immediately. Watch for IEDs, men. All right, let's grab these Huskies as well. Try to get them back to base on time, too. And hopefully we spot something here. I want to get more political points, because that's how we purchase our new units, of course. The more political points, the merrier. Let's take a look here. Pro guys in the Taliban. Yeah, we've got some strong Taliban in this particular Let's Play, I will admit that. But nothing we can't handle. I mean, once again, the hearts and minds score we have right now is exceptional. If we can keep this up, I think we're going to be just fine. Now, one thing we're going to have to do is get the hell out of here with this particular MRAP, and I think I'm going to go ahead and try to just cross across the desert. I'm hoping it's not a terrible idea. Very well could be. One thing's for sure, we've got to keep these guys moving. And so far, this village doesn't need help, so I'm not moving in there with the ANA troops, but I will move over here with my special forces and try to look for more enemy units. Nothing so far. All right, looks pretty clear to me. Let's try to drop this unit. It's going to take us a while to get over here to this area. It's pretty far away. So we're going to move with the Black Hawk over here and try to drop off some of our units at those southernmost villages, which rarely see us. They're probably not our friends. I wouldn't expect them to be anyway. And we'll also set up an ambush. Oh, sorry, this is resupply. We can only set up ambushes with our regular infantry. Well, let's go ahead and resupply. Why not? All right, so we got a lot of pro-American villages here. That's a good sign. All right, let's see what happens to our Apache. Might be crashing for good. 55, and oh, the Apache's okay, but believe it or not, I don't know what's happened here. This might be a slight game bug, because he's still in the air despite being out of fuel, but he can't move. He might just be stuck for a good long while. Before I send this Apache in, I want to make sure to get these troops. We'll start moving the ANA troops to the east. I want to go to that village, of course, and we'll also move with our special forces to the east as well. So we saw a lot of Taliban activity here before, but maybe it stopped. I'm actually going to bring in a spotter here. And there we go, Taliban. Okay, so unfortunately, we are going to run out of fuel if we don't get this Apache back. So we're going to have to send him back. I know I wish we could attack these guys too, but it's just not going to happen this turn. Let's bring in some supplies over here with the C-130. And also fix that waterworks. Beautiful. Drop off the units here in this town. So I'm actually going to keep these guys here this turn because I get the feeling that those Taliban are going to come right to this village and try to intimidate it. And if our guys are here, it's a lot less likely that that's going to happen. Definitely have to bring these guys back to get some medical attention. We'll do the same with the Husky because he's almost out of fuel. So we definitely want to refuel these guys. And this Husky's almost out of fuel as well. Bring him back. Everybody's coming back to base at this point just to get that precious fuel instead of having to send fuel trucks all the way out. And we'll try to get this guy as close to base as possible. But, oh, enemy technical, guys. And we actually destroyed that enemy technical, or at least damaged it. Pretty awesome. That brought our political points up quite well. Let's keep moving. So that's an enemy technical. It also gave us the location of another Taliban unit over here crossing this river. We are going to bring in an F-16 and see if we can't get rid of it. Boom! Oh, 2 beautiful kills there. We're definitely putting the hurt on the Taliban this particular scenario. I'm loving it. And there we go. Some more Taliban. They are everywhere. There's just nothing we can do. I'll move the Special Forces that way. Of course, like I've said in the previous streams too, I really recommend keeping the Special Forces in Eastern Mountains because this is, of course, on the border of Pakistan. So that's where a lot of the Taliban actually come from. It's probably a good idea to stick around there if you have the chance, of course. It's not always possible, but if you have the chance, you want to head to those Eastern Mountain ranges and just drop the Special Forces off there and hunt, basically. All right, keep on moving. I think that's about it. We'll end the turn. Okay, the Taliban are actually moving towards our Special Forces, and as you can see, they're headed towards that village to try and cause some panic. I think we can call in a Warthog and possibly destroy these guys. That would be the best case scenario, of course. Let's do it, boys. Calling in the Warthog. 62%. Oh yeah, dead Taliban. I mean, we are doing great right now. No! Messed up there. Actually, I should have just gone to this village. Shame on me. Nonetheless, look at that, 57. I don't think we've ever had it that high on a stream, and that's just great news. So these guys are going to need some emergency supplies, unfortunately. It's going to cost us some cash, but I think it's well worth it. And let's get these men back to base. Rest and recuperate, boys. Once again, I don't want this Black Hawk crashing, so we're going to have to pick our guys up. This is a 2-day journey just to get from this part of the region up here to the base. So I'm sending them right back to refuel, and then maybe we'll hit that other location if we have time. We got a lot here. I'm liking it. Let's see if we got any enemies we see or can spot. We're going to cross the river here. We've got to keep an eye on the Special Forces because obviously they need to get the emergency rations more than anybody else. And of course, the Special Forces cannot go into towns. Nobody's going to talk to them. It's just that simple. They're made to kill. They're not made to have discussions. Get the Husky out here and start looking for some more IEDs. I must say, despite the terrible elections we've had in this scenario, we've gotten very lucky with the IEDs. I haven't spotted many, and that's a good sign. It makes our jobs a little easier. But at the same time, we spotted a whole lot more Taliban fighters. Maybe they just consider this kind of their home territory. Obviously, Afghanistan, it was Taliban country during the war, but I think that this region in particular is maybe where their families live, etc., and they don't want to jeopardize that by putting IEDs everywhere. That's just what I'm guessing. I could be completely wrong here. Pick up the boys, and we'll head to this village over here, drop them off. Actually, wouldn't be a bad idea to build another FOB here. Oh boy, Taliban firing an RPG, and they got a hit on our Chinook. Now, should I keep going with it? I'm going to keep moving with it, but it's definitely dangerous. And there we go, enemy technical. I wonder if we could get this Apache out here. He's already got 2 stripes. See if we can kill that technical. That would be a huge win. especially since this is a pro-American village, so we want to keep them in our good graces. Oh yeah, damage technical. So we didn't destroy it, but number one, we damaged it badly, and we dissuaded it from its mission. That's going to make things very good for us. I'm actually scared to pick our boys up with this Chinook, but we got to get the hell out of here. Once again, they're not putting any IEDs anywhere near here. But we're going to try to get this Chinook back home, and hopefully we don't encounter any Taliban on the way. Get those special forces moving. All right, we've already started moving them. Beautiful. 55. Oh, there actually are night turns. Somebody mentioned night turns, so occasionally we do have a day-night cycle where it will get dark. How that day-night cycle is determined, I'm not 100% sure, but yes, there are definitely night turns, and I'd love to have even more. I think it would be really fun. Let's take a look here. All right, we could bring the Buffalo back. In fact, we could send them to this southernmost village and maybe build another water tower. All right, guys, we are getting very close to the end of this stream, so I just want to thank everybody for showing up. Whatever keys we still have, we're going to go ahead and give out now. I'm not sure how many we have, so don't kill the messenger here. But I just want to thank everybody for showing up, especially the veterans. We love to see you guys here. Obviously, you guys know this game is dedicated to the brave men and women that fought in Afghanistan, and you know, we really appreciate your service. We appreciate the fact that you support this game. It's just great to see so many veterans that like this game. And look at this, SEAL Team 6. The U.S. Army has reported a number of successful missions that result in the capture of key militant members. Although neither the White House nor the Department of Defense has confirmed it, it is believed that the U.S. Naval Special Forces Development Group, commonly known as SEAL Team 6, was responsible. So it would be good news in any other scenario, but the fact is in this one, we've seen mostly Taliban. I think we've only seen one militia unit, so it's not going to help us too much. It definitely would have been good news if we were on a less brutal map. But it's just not the case here. It's really not that helpful to us because we're dealing with a huge Taliban force, and they don't seem to give a damn about SEAL Team 6 or any of those guys. Nonetheless, I do like to see positive news like that. Once again, our ANA forces are trying to get closer and closer here to this village. But anyway, guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for the stream indeed. No problem. Miss Duncan says, this stream has showed me more of the game. No problem at all. I hope you'll get it. Just torture the messenger a little, says Elcion. Maybe a little. Yeah, you guys can torture me just a little bit. Oh, you like the news pop-ups. Yeah, no problem, Vicar. No problem. Deformus, is that how to pronounce your name? It's my pleasure, guys. The next stream, we're going to, of course, set it up next week. I'm believing our next stream is going to be on Monday, and I'm pretty sure we'll be doing something besides Afghanistan 11. But, you know, we do seem to get a lot of viewers here for the Afghanistan 11 videos, so we might try to continue this particular scenario in the next stream. I can't promise you that, but we always try and get, you know, basically games that our audience is interested in. So if you go to our Matrix Games website, or Matrix Games on YouTube, or Slytherin LTD on YouTube, you can give us suggestions for the next stream and what you want to see. And we really don't get a lot of those suggestions, so believe me, it is absolutely essential for you guys to drop your thoughts there, because that's how we decide what we're going to be streaming the next week. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care and have an awesome day.